The one of the diversions that the British media has been doing to take away the focus of attention from the genocide of the Palestinians being carried out by the settler Zionist state of Israel has been to devote disproportionately bigger space to the USA university campuses, witnessing sit-ins and other protests, occupations against the Zionist attacks on the Palestinians. Instead of reporting what is happening in the United Kingdom, for example, the UK's continuing arming of the Zionist state of Israel, the USA's continuing arming of the Zionist state of Israel and its massacre of Palestinians, the falsifiers and deniers and diverters like Camilla Long, like the Sunday Times, are taking on apparently petty issues and showing how pathetic and petty the protesters are, as is evident in the main body of the Camilla Long column in today's Sunday Times, London, 5th of May 2024. Camilla Long uses the same kind of phrases that have been present in the utterances of the far-right Nigerian fascist, opportunist, colluder to empire and racism, Kemi Badenoch. For example, white lefties is an expression they use to demonize the victims of Zionist apartheid state against which the students are holding the sit-ins, staging the sit-ins and occupations. And the way that the Camilla Long piece derides the protesting students across the USA is absolutely carbon copy of what could be found in the various columns in the British newspapers, Daily and Sunday Telegraph, and in the pieces written by the Hindu origin, Africa-born, the Financial Times columnist called Ganesh, written over this by the mental slave, ignorant moron, Tony Sowell, in the apartheid founded weekly paper called The Voice. The way that the attention has been focused on the white lefty liberals perpetuates the denial of the existence of black students. And only black student unnamed that Camilla Long actually contrives to quote, deriding the white leftists is to emphasize a racist denunciation of the narrative against racism, against Zionism, against the genocide of the Palestinians. These are addendas, unnamed, unidentified, otherwise never recognized. That actually shows that the ideas of Thomas Barrington Macaulay, that the products, the brainwashed people of the subcontinent in the 19th century would be on the outside brown and on the inside English. They would have no independent entity, identity of their own, which is what is happening with the long-running mental slavery of the likes of, by the likes of Trevor Terrible Phillips. Now the older brother of the Guardian's Gary Young, Patrick Criminal Young, is a disgraceful criminal who has typified all the ethnic liars of Pakistani origin, Indian origin, Bangladeshi origin, African origin, Caribbean origin, who have manufactured items based on lying and stealing the original work of the campaigners on the ground, to interview whom the white managers and commissioners have sent these criminals to areas like Tower Hamlets. For example, Patrick Young came in 1993, September 1993, when I organized the campaign against the near murder by racists of KhoodeelaarTV in Commercial Road. And Patrick Young, the criminal, filmed me, spoke to me, recorded what I said, and then went away and invented somebody else. Nothing to do with a non-existent person was created to impersonate me. That is the extent of brazen criminality that has been going on, and the BBC has been doing it, rigging it. So when Martin Cruxall and Anita McVie et al. Have been alleging at the Industrial Tribunal, Employment Tribunal, that the BBC has been discriminating against older women, and the process of recruitment has been rigged. This is not something new. This is not something new or newsworthy. The BBC has been doing it routinely, as has been the Sky News, as has been Channel 4 News, and other broadcasting outlets and print media. And outlets. The report in the Sunday Times, the feature-length piece about the German fascist organization AfD, again is not something that is really deserving of treatment as if it is happening only now. The fascists in Germany never gave up, they never stopped. And the fascist reorganization, realignment that the British media has been describing it as, is a lie. They have been consistently present. And the British media, including The Guardian, the likes of The Guardian, have intentionally, deliberately suppressed the fact of the fascist presence. So in today's Sunday Times, for example, on page 9 of the Sunday Times, there is this piece about Johnson within subquote, in touch with Farage and plotting realignment of the right, is a lie. Congenital liar Boris Johnson has been denounced, condemned by the liar, racist liar, nasty Farage more than 200 times. And neither of them has any substantiable record of fitness for purpose, for society, for democracy, for ethical, moral, accountable, transparent democracy. So Tim Shipman, whose record makes him deserving to be called shitman, is writing a complete falsehood. It's a joke. Because the right in the Conservative Party, in the guise of the Conservative Party or the Reform UK or any other label, is never actually retired. It never gives up. It is constantly and forever being funded, promoted, encouraged, plugged to take over the resources of society, to break up society, to rob and loot society, to undermine democracy, and to keep the majority of the people under constant denial and environment of harassment, intolerance. Despite the fact that they always label Theresa May as a kind of moderate and David Cameron's sub-moderate and John Major as a tertiary moderate or whatever. There is no moderation in the Conservative Party or in the Conservative movement. Despite the fact that their numbers are disproportionately smaller, far smaller, that the image that they are given by the media, the mainstream media and parliament and the establishment and the judiciary and the commentary in the judiciary make the right, the fascists and racists, come across as representing more people in society, in the demography, in the population, than they actually ever do. And the fact that this happens is down to the fact that the so-called left is left out of the media, as I said, as I called it in the 1980s. One of my theses was LOOM, L-O-O-M, left out of the media, meaning the left was left out of the media. My analysis of the left out of the media was based on the Tony Benn lies at the time in the 1980s, and the lies of the assorted left MPs or left wannabe MPs like Jeremy Corbyn and other bogus socialists. I have maintained over the last 5 years, let's say. Well, it's not 5 years, it's longer than 5 years. Over the years, since Corbyn was inserted as leader of the Labour Party, that Corbyn is shallower than the shallowest. Corbyn doesn't have the intellect, and Corbyn makes it worse by not having a strategy or technique, and is not reasonably read about the contemporary politics and political situation. As I have said, world exclusively originally, while he was in post as leader of the Labour Party, Corbyn lied about Brexit because he was a Brexiteer. And the fact that he lied about Brexit was not commented on by the Brexiteers because the majority of the opinion promoted in the media, through the media in Britain, was pro-Brexit in the campaign, in the run-up. And the deficiency, the deficits in Corbyn's absence, in Corbyn's response to Cameron was so obvious that no reasonable observer could fail to ignore, to not notice just how irrelevant Corbyn was. As I said, Corbyn, every day of the week, every working day, when Corbyn would leave his home while he was incumbent as leader of the Labour Party, there would ordinarily be dozens of broadcast journalists with their video recorders at the ready. And Corbyn, instead of addressing them on the political issues of the day or setting the agenda of the day, would run to the waiting car. That was the most idiotic and most unmistakable evidence of Corbyn's unfitness. Nothing to do with the ideology. Whatever ideology he might be ascribed, Corbyn didn't have the fitness. And this was highlighted, for example, when David Cameron attacked him personally, severely, in the House of Commons. Once about his Corbyn going to Calais to meet asylum seekers, and on the other occasion when Cameron disgracefully referred to Cameron's mother as a source of authority about how Corbyn should dress, wear a suit or whatever. Corbyn had no excuse to ignore these severe, racist and prejudiced, hostile, offensive, and in terms of presentation to the Little Englanders, damaging, diminishing, self-diminishing behavior by Corbyn. We shall be continuing on these and related issues and topics, and we shall come back talking about the repercussions and ramifications of the elections for mayor and the London Assembly elections, and also the particular partial council seats and councils election that took place on the 2nd of May 2024. This is nearly 21 minutes, and this is timed at 2100 hours GMT, ending this particular edition part C at 2048 GMT. Sorry, 2048 BST, 1948 GMT.